Do you like saffron heavy fragrances? I don't. Okay, that's not true. I do appreciate a good saffron fragrance. As it turns out, I have several in my collection. I'm going to go ahead and give you a top 5 saffron fragrances if you love saffron, or top 5 to avoid if you hate it. This is going to be my 2 cents, top 5 saffron fragrances. All right, welcome back to the channel. This is my 2 cents. My name is Sean. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you are not and you've seen these videos before, welcome back. So as I've said, today I'm going to give you a top 5 list of the top 5 saffron fragrances. This is from somebody who doesn't really love saffron. I feel like saffron is one of the most divisive notes in perfumery. It's very expensive, it comes from the crocus flower, and in different fragrances it shows up in really unique ways. Sometimes it smells dry, sometimes it smells dusty, sometimes it smells leathery, and sometimes it's blended so well that you don't even know that it's there. But like I've said, in my opinion, it's one of the notes that can make or break a fragrance. So I'm going to give you 5 different saffron takes. Let's get started. So when I said I was going to do this list, I was told don't do a top 5 list, but it sort of has turned into a top 5 list. And at the bottom of the list, I cannot do a list of saffron fragrances without including the most widely known saffron fragrance in the world. That's going to be Baccarat Rouge 540 by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. So I know everybody knows this fragrance. MFK has managed to take saffron at the top and make it very, very sweet, almost candied sweet. You've got ethyl maltol in here, which mixes with the saffron, so you don't even know that you're really smelling the saffron. It's sort of a medicinal saffron in here, mixing with a sweetness that has become one of those fragrances that everybody loves. In New York City, which is where I live, you can smell this absolutely everywhere. It's going to be on the subway, it's going to be in stores, it's going to be walking down the street. As far as I'm concerned, the saffron note here is blended so well that you don't get anything sharp off the top. What sets it apart in this one is that there's almost a metallic, luminous edge to the saffron in this fragrance, which is blended perfectly with the sweetness of the ethyl maltol. It has become one of the most widely recognizable fragrances. So that's going to be number 5 in the countdown. The next fragrance in the countdown, haven't reviewed too many of these, but I have so many different fragrances from this house. It is going to be by the House of Montale. It is Oud Saffron. Anybody who is familiar with the House of Montale knows that Montale has mixed oud with about 9,000 other things. In this fragrance, you've got oud mixed with rose, mixed with saffron. This gives it a very classic Middle Eastern structure. The saffron here adds sort of a leathery glow to the top of the oud. And the rose here keeps it from getting too dry. This is a bold fragrance. It's a fragrance that's going to have a very strong sillage. You're going to get the oud, you're going to get the leather, you're going to get the rose. This is a very different take on saffron. Mixing it with oud and mixing it with rose is very traditional for Montale, and it keeps it in line with Montale's branding. But this is a very good fragrance if you like oud, if you like rose, and you like saffron. I definitely say you should try this one out. The third one on the list, and I can't believe I'm putting this at number 3 because I love this fragrance so much. It is called Ganymede by the House of Marc-Antoine Barrois. If you've seen my Ganymede review, you know that I am absolutely in love with this fragrance. This is saffron taken in a completely different direction. Ganymede manages to take saffron, mix it with mineral notes, it mixes it with suede, it mixes it with mandarin. It's bright, it's not dusty, it's not sweet, it's got a sharp, clean, almost futuristic brightness to it. Ganymede is one of those fragrances where I've mentioned that when saffron is mixed perfectly, it gives it a warmth and ambery glow to a fragrance. I've said it before, Ganymede is a masterpiece of modern perfumery. It's done by Crivelli, who, as we know, is responsible for a lot of the most popular fragrances these days. Ganymede manages to give us a saffron that's not just warm, but almost luminous and otherworldly. This fragrance is one of my top 5 that I have in my collection. Definitely, if you haven't smelled Ganymede by Marc-Antoine Barrois, definitely get your nose on this one. Moving right along to number 2 on the saffron list, we have Saffron Secret by Maison Crivelli. I'm not saying that this is a better fragrance than Ganymede, but if you're talking about pure saffron fragrances and the scent of saffron, I think that Maison Crivelli ends up doing it probably the best. You'll find out why it's number 2 in a second. Like I said, I don't usually love saffron heavy fragrances. I don't want saffron to be the strongest note out front. There are a lot of people out there that do. So as far as saffron forward fragrances goes, Maison Crivelli does it very well. Crivelli keeps it simple here. Saffron is in the middle, and at the top you've got warm spices, and at the base you've got what they call blonde woods. The secret here is that Crivelli doesn't list all of the other notes in this. There's a cashmere in the base that mixes super well with the saffron. It keeps it warm, it keeps it glowing on the skin. You lose the spices after about 20 minutes of wear, but you maintain that saffron note and the woods. This is for somebody who is into Crivelli fragrances that doesn't want something that's going to be a statement piece like a patchouli magnétique or something like that. This is for somebody who likes Crivelli but wants something a little bit more understated. I feel like as far as the extrays go, everybody who knows these fragrances knows they are super, super powerful. This is the least Crivelli coated. Most of his fragrances have something synthetic in them that keeps them in that same Crivelli DNA. If you were to smell this fragrance, I don't think you'd be able to tell it's Crivelli right off the bat, as is the case with many of his other fragrances. But if you haven't tried Saffron Secret, definitely get your nose on this. That ends up being number 2 on the list. All right, who's number 1 on the list? What's probably most shocking is that of all the saffron fragrances that I have, this is probably the one that I will wear the least. This is the most saffron-forward fragrance that I have gotten my nose on. I do have it in my collection because I think it's very well done. If I want a very, very strong burst of saffron, this is the one that I will go to. This is Crystal Saffron by Matiere. If you don't know the brand, there is a second version of this. There is an intense Crystal Saffron. What they've gone ahead and done in that one is they've added a note of myrrh. I think that this one's a little bit brighter, this one's a little bit easier to wear, so I went and I bought the regular one instead. In Crystal Saffron, the saffron is definitely the star. It isn't a heavy saffron, it's not a heady saffron. This is a saffron that is very leathery. As I mentioned in the opening, saffron can tend to be leathery. There's a definite leatheriness to this when you first spray it out of the bottle. It's almost rubbery. The name of this is Crystal Saffron, and you can almost get the crystalliness to it. It's almost like saffron ice. This feels very airy. It feels very diffusive. The only thing that makes this a little bit more heavy is that leather note to it. But if you're looking for a pure saffron fragrance, Matiere's Crystal Saffron is definitely the way to go. This is the fragrance of all of these 5 where you're going to smell the saffron the strongest. So there you have it. 5 very, very, very different takes on saffron. So you've got one note, you've got 5 personalities here. You've got it smelling very candy-like. You've got it very traditional Middle Eastern, smelling it with oud. You've got it mixed to a warmth perfection in Ganymede. You've got it mixed with woods for Saffron Secret. And then you have it as a very, very traditional saffron smell with a clean airiness to it in Crystal Saffron. If you like saffron, definitely try these 5 out. If you hate saffron, please avoid these fragrances at all costs. That was my 2 cents, and those are my top 5 saffron fragrances. If you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. It'll really help me out. If you are subscribed, thank you. If you love saffron, or if you think I've missed something out, please leave me a comment. I am looking to smell different types of saffron. I've opened up my nose to it. Like I said, the one that I wear the least here is probably Crystal Saffron because it has the strongest saffron note. If there are other ones that I've missed, please let me know, write a comment. If any of these are your favorites, please let me know. I like to get the conversation going. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you next episode.